Welcome back to your Sunday Setup. I'm Whitney. Over the last several weeks, we've been building something important. We've talked about emotional capacity, stability in uncertainty, radical responsibility, letting go of resistance, and stepping into agency. And now we shift into the next phase. Because knowing what to do and even deciding to do it is not what changes your life. What changes your life is consistency. So for the next several weeks, we're going to explore a series of disciplines. I won't be giving you a rigid set of rules, but rather practices that help you become someone who follows through. Because most people don't struggle because they don't know what to do. They struggle because they either don't start, or if they do, they don't finish, and they don't sustain. So today, we begin with the foundation, the discipline of consistency. But before we dig in, let's get centered. Take a slow breath in. Release it. Let your shoulders drop. Silently repeat, I don't need to do everything. I need to do what matters consistently. I am building trust with myself. One more deep breath in. And let it all out. Imagine someone building a house. They don't build the entire structure in one day. They lay one brick, then another, then another. Individually, each brick feels small, almost insignificant. But over time, those bricks become walls. Those walls become a structure, and eventually that structure becomes a home. Consistency works the same way. It's probably not going to feel dramatic, and it's not particularly exciting. But it's how everything meaningful gets built. Most people think the problem is motivation. It's not, and we've talked about this before. Motivation comes and goes. Consistency is what remains. And here's the truth. Inconsistency creates self-doubt. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll start next week, or I just need to get in the right mindset, you slowly stop trusting yourself. But consistency rebuilds that trust. Not through your attempts to be perfect, but through repetition. And that's what makes your work week feel lighter, because you're no longer starting over every Monday. Let's discuss 3 strategies for consistency. First, start by making it smaller than you think it should be. And when I say smaller, I mean smaller. Most people fail at consistency because they aim too big. Yes, absolutely, your overarching goals or vision should be big, grand, a moonshot, if you will. However, to get there, consistency thrives on small actions, repeatable steps, and realistic expectations. Instead of saying, I'm going to overhaul everything this week, try, what is one thing I can repeat daily? Small is sustainable. Next, decide in advance what done looks like, what success looks like. Inconsistency often comes from vagueness. If you don't define success, you are constantly renegotiating your effort. So, define what counts as done today and what is enough. Clarity reduces resistance. And finally, keep showing up even when it's imperfect. Inconsistency isn't about doing it perfectly, it's about doing it anyway. On low energy days, do less, but don't do nothing. And this is where I want to bring in something I've found incredibly grounding from The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. The 4th agreement is always do your best. But here's the part we don't always remember. Your best will look different from day to day. Some days your best is focused, productive, and efficient. On other days, your best is simply showing up at all. And they both count. When you accept that your best is enough for that day, you stop punishing yourself for not doing more, and you stay in motion. The goal isn't perfection. It's continuity, progress, forward motion that is moving you toward your goals and vision. And every time you show up, even imperfectly, you reinforce, I am someone who follows through. Now for a practical work week example. It's Monday, yes. That dreaded Monday that we are reframing. You start strong. Tuesday, you're busy. Wednesday, you're tired. Thursday, you feel behind. And Friday, you're like, I just give up. And that's the cycle. Now, imagine this instead. You choose one consistent action for the week. Even on your busiest day, you complete it. Imperfectly, but intentionally. By Friday, nothing dramatic has changed, but something important has. You kept your word to yourself, and that's how confidence is built. Over the next several weeks, we're going to build on this. Not by doing more, but by becoming more consistent in how you operate. We'll explore how to start, even when you don't feel ready, how to finish what you begin, how to align your actions with what actually matters, how to structure your time and protect your focus, how to expand your perspective, and how to sustain all of it without burning out. This is the playbook, and it begins here with consistency. Next week, we'll tackle one of the biggest barriers to consistency, starting. Because many people don't struggle with consistency, they actually struggle with beginning. Because they're overthinking, they're waiting, and trying to feel ready. We'll explore a concept popularized in the Success Principles by Jack Canfield. Ready, fire, aim. The idea that comes from that is that clarity often comes after action, not before it. And how learning to start before you feel confident or even prepared can completely change how you approach your work, your goals, and your growth. So, consistency is quiet, but it's powerful. It's how trust is built, it's how confidence grows, and it's how change becomes real. If you're ready to intentionally build that kind of consistency, this is the work I support through structured practices and coaching. And if you want a simple way to begin, the Mindful 5 offers short daily practices to help you reset, refocus, and follow through one day at a time. You can learn more at themindful5.com. So, keep showing up, even when it's imperfect, especially when it's imperfect. And until next time, take care.